The District of West Vancouver is planning on spending between $30 and $38 million on an arts centre.
The question being, is during a COVID recovery, does West Vancouver really need an arts centre? In a recent poll conducted by the Ambleside-Dunderave Residents Association on the question of whether to build one or not, 85% of the respondents replied with an emphatic no. But interestingly, the numbers were reinforced by two surveys done by the municipality in February of 2018. The first district survey was online, with 41% of the respondents agreeing that the district's proposal was worth taking further.
In the second survey, the number supporting more space for gallery or studio or museum or performance combined was only 14%.
And despite this lukewarm response, the district went ahead and went and looked to find locations for the art. The consultants, employed at taxpayers' expense, reviewed 12 district-owned and 7 privately owned sites for analysis. These 19 were reduced to 4, 2 from each group. Originally, Fresh Street was one of the private-owned sites, and this was soon dismissed by the owner. Let's call it Love 15. With the 2 sites in Ambleside Park owned by the district, and the one remaining privately owned site was in the 1400 block of Marine Drive, Planning Department staff negotiated with the owners of the 1400 block site, and on March 10th, the Director of Planning, Jim Bailey, presented the fruits of the negotiations to Council. Those fruits materialized in an understanding that the site owner would permit to build 2 12-story buildings between Marine Drive and Clyde in return for the district being allowed to own and operate the Arts Centre on 2 floors of the structure. This would give the district their Arts Centre at no additional cost to the taxpayer other than the cost of allowing the developers to obscure the skyline between 14th and 15th. Happily, the council did not accept the work of the planning department. Let's call it Love 30. The first site in the park suggested by planning is the south side parking lot. Of course, this is highly used not just for the scarce parking in Ambleside, but also for the farmers market and other community events. The second site, perhaps the end game all along, is the tennis court area just south of Marine Drive. This has experienced high usage in the summer, like the rest of the park, and is a well-loved recreational facility. So the farmers market keep their community parking. It begins to look a lot like Love 40, Match Point. But hold on, its financial outlook deserves some review. Enter Polygon, the arts centre in North Vancouver at the bottom of Lonsdale. This centre benefits from high tourist volume and local visitors. If we look at the figures from 2016 to 2019, we see that it has been a losing proposition, or more accurately, a white elephant subsidised by the taxpayers of North Vancouver and the province. In the most relevant evidence as to how art centres perform on the North Shore, it is interesting to note that Polygon is nowhere near self-funding. A full 70% of its yearly revenues, almost $4 million, are made up in gifts and government grants. Note that government grants means the taxpayer. Polygon Gallery revenue from over-the-counter activity covers only 30% of expenses, not even 1/3. On her mayor's update, on April 20th, Marianne Booth, while acknowledging that the residents are concerned about the costs of the new arts centre in the midst of a pandemic, she seriously tried to reassure us that we're still in the planning stages and that it is important to move forward with the site selection process so the developer can come up with cost projections. Excuse me, didn't your staff do precisely that in September when they produced an estimate of $34 to $38 million? This is in a West Vancouver district document. And yet we proceed to spend another $300,000 of this year's budget to continue site selection work? I hate to say it, but this is game, set, and match, because we cannot afford to be spending this kind of money in a post-pandemic world on an arts centre.
Call or email your councillors and let them know your opinion. And do join us at West Vancouver Community Stakeholders. Thank you.